Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Ajay Shah, bringing you this another Facebook Live. Today's topic is depression. This is segment number 3 on depression. Segment 1 and 2 are already available on YouTube, so please watch them on YouTube. Segment 1 is very important. Segment 2 is also extends further how you can prevent the depression and how you can prevent the relapse of depression. This is segment number 3. I also have done weight loss videos on YouTube. I also done videos on high blood pressure. So please watch them on our YouTube channel, Healthy Living with Dr. Ajay Shah. So let's go back to the depression. As I covered in segment 1 and 2, there are certain things which prevents the depression and prevents the relapse of depression. And some of the important things include exercise, regular daily exercise, 1 to 2 hours a day, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, healthy eating, meditation, stress management. All those things are important. So please watch segment 1 and 2. And now let's start with segment 3. Uh, it's very important that we realize that depression many times comes because of the many chronic medical conditions. When people medically are sick, they have very high chance of developing depression. For example, when people have heart disease, when people have diabetes, when people have long-standing uncontrolled high blood pressure, when people have Alzheimer's disease, when people have dementia, when people have had stroke, that's when depression can set in. So prevention of many chronic disease will prevent the depression and will prevent the relapse of depression. Obesity is one of the major reasons for having depression. Obesity leads to chronic inflammation. Obesity also leads to many chronic disease. Obesity also actually lowers your self-esteem, lowers your financial potential, and all those things can lead to the depression and also relapse of the depression. So preventing obesity, losing weight, getting down to ideal body weight will help the depression. In between the episodes of depression, when you are feeling good, when you are having good energy, try your best to lose weight if you are overweight or obese. Please watch my videos on how to lose weight. They are already available on YouTube or scroll down on the Facebook. But having ideal body weight definitely helps to prevent depression and prevent the relapse of depression. When you see your psychologist or psychiatrist, they may not talk about these other factors when it comes down to treating depression. But let me tell you one thing, it's very important that we medically stay healthy if you want to prevent the depression or prevent the relapse of depression. Uh, like I also cover on role of chronic inflammation. People who have low level of chronic inflammation, they have very high chance of having depression, having a relapse of the depression. So consider checking CRP level. CRP level, you can ask your doctor, particularly if you are suffering from depression, whether you have a low level of chronic inflammation. Next thing you can do is in the list is that you can start actually having mini sessions throughout the day of meditation. And even if you are at work, and I'm sure your workplace will allow that if you are suffering from depression, or if you are in between the bouts of depression, or if you want to prevent the depression, start observing your breath 3 to 5 minutes every hour. I do it. I'm very busy at my work. I see a lot of patients, but I still have made a habit of closing my eyes anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes every hour, just closing my eyes and observing my breath slowly as it moves through my nose. And that instantly relaxes me. That's almost like a mini meditation. So things you can do throughout your work or throughout your time at home, if you're working from home, or if you are, retired, or if you are not working, is to spend 3 to 7, 3 to 10 minutes every hour, definitely 5 minutes every hour to do certain things to prevent the depression, prevent the relapse of depression. And that could include 2 to 3 minutes of walking, which will give you about 200 or 300 steps, and 2 to 3 minutes of observing your breath with your closed eyes. Making this mini habit of moving every hour and relaxing every hour for a few minutes has a long-term, much investment, and it will prevent the depression. It will prevent the relapse of depression. Once again, I repeat, when you are in between your depression stages, you actually are feeling good. Start doing this. Many of these recommendations I've shown you in segment one, segment two, and now I'm showing you in segment three. Those more things you do out of the list, higher the chance that you will prevent the relapse of depression. So if you do all of them, you will be depression proof. And let me tell you, many psychiatrists, many psychologists do not teach you this thing. Psychiatrists are busy, psychologists are busy, they have their own obligations. Many times they are on a time clock, many times they are obviously into a business of making money, and they may or may not have time to spend half an hour, 1 hour with you. When I spend time with my psychiatrist, it was 5 minute appointment. And I'm sure many of you have the same kind of appointment where psychiatrists are very busy. They are actually busy writing prescriptions, prescribing medication. So watching this video on depression on my Facebook and also on YouTube will help you to learn how to have other things you can do yourself to prevent the depression, prevent the relapse of depression. Next thing you can do is increase your parasympathetic tone. There are two systems, two nervous systems in our body, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic system is the one which is flight, fight, or fear, and that actually has many times a lot of detrimental effects. When you are in a true emergency, sympathetic system is necessary, but having high sympathetic tone on a chronic base, on a daily base, is not very healthy. We actually need to increase our parasympathetic tone. By increasing parasympathetic tone, it prevents the depression, prevents the relapse of depression. I have a separate video on YouTube. It's about 20 minutes long, how to increase your parasympathetic tone. And let me tell you one thing, if you increase your parasympathetic tone, depression will be prevented and relapse will be prevented. So increase your parasympathetic tone. Next thing in the list is avoiding any kind of sugar. Sugar definitely is a trigger for many people in terms of depression. Having a high sugar meals, having high sugar food items has a high chance of bringing the depression back. So try to avoid sugar as much as possible. Definitely try to avoid lots of cookies and cakes and lots of soda, and try to stay away from the sugar as much as possible. Uh, Even avoiding sugar substitutes is very important. Sugar substitutes are shown to cause affecting our microbiome, and when microbiome is disturbed, depression can set in. Microbiome is the one where um, bacteria in your colon, when they work together with the you as a one unit, and those microbiome has shown to be affecting our body in a tremendous way. When we have a healthy microbiome, when we have a healthy group of bacteria in our colon, in our intestines, even throughout our body, we actually have a better health, and it has also shown to have a less chance of depression. And that is called brain gut connection. There's a book called Brain Gut Connection. Please consider reading that book. So try to improve the microbiome. So again, sugar substitutes affect the microbiome. So try to avoid sugar substitutes as much as possible. Having a whole food plant-based diet with lots of soluble fiber will improve your microbiome, and improving microbiome will help to prevent the depression. So do your best to improve your microbiome. I have a separate video on YouTube how to improve your microbiome and importance of fiber in your diet. It's already available on YouTube on Healthy Living with Dr. Ajay Shah. So please watch that video on microbiome and role of fiber in our diet. Uh, Next thing is the role of coffee. I think coffee has a kind of a dual-edged sword. Having one cup in the morning may help you to have some more energy, some more alertness, may even help you to, prevent the depression or actually be functional during the depression. So one cup of coffee in the morning is safe. Uh, Zero coffee is best, but if you have one cup in the morning, it's safe and you can do it. Coffee does have some benefits, so I'm not against coffee. I myself have coffee. Typically, I have decaf coffee, but once in a while, I have a regular coffee also. Sometimes I do half and half. So, one cup of coffee in the morning is fine and is safe, but having any coffee in the afternoon will disturb your sleep, and lack of sleep is one of the major trigger for depression and also for the relapse of depression. So, try to avoid coffee in the afternoon as much as possible. You can have a decaf coffee in the afternoon, but even I would avoid that as much as possible. Same thing goes to caffeinated tea or a Coke or a Pepsi. Any kind of caffeine products should be avoided in the afternoon as much as possible. As you are watching, please share this thing on your page. Please have comments, please have questions, please have concerns, and I will answer your comments, questions, and concerns as I continue doing this segment 3 on depression. Uh, there's another data also in terms of the gluten. Some people are very sensitive to gluten, and gluten should be avoided in those people. So try to experiment yourself. I eat gluten diet, gluten food myself, and I'm fine with it. But some people are sensitive, and some people may not do well when they have depression. Gluten can be a trigger for depression for some people. So avoid gluten if, in your case, that's a trigger for depression. And gluten food typically are the wheat flour diet, like wheat bread or wheat pizza crust, or many of the gluten products. So try to avoid gluten if you are sensitive to it. I'm not gluten sensitive and I'm fine with gluten, but some people are sensitive to gluten. So try to avoid gluten if you are sensitive to it. Uh, Next thing is very important that you have a good psychiatrist who takes care of your depression. So, good psychiatrist will not only prescribe the right medication and right combination of medications, but will also spend time with you to improve your lifestyle, improve your mindset, improve your other things you can do to prevent the relapse of depression. Um, having a psychiatrist who has an interest into lifestyle medicine is definitely a plus, and there are very few psychiatrists who are certified into lifestyle medicine. I strongly urge you to have a psychiatrist who has an interest into lifestyle medicine. I would even ask you to ask your psychiatrist to see if he or she gets certified into lifestyle medicine. I myself is certified into lifestyle medicine. I'm also obviously board certified cardiologist. And let me tell you, the value of lifestyle medicine certification is at least 10 times more than what I used to do as a clinical cardiologist. So definitely lifestyle medicine has a role both in treatment of a lot of chronic disease, a lot of medical conditions, and definitely in the treatment of depression. Um, Also, having a very good primary care physician is very important if you suffer from depression. Primary care physician many times actually is the one who prescribes the medicine for depression. So having a primary care physician who has a good knowledge of those medications, a primary care physician also who has an interest into lifestyle medicine, and primary care physician who also believes in other methods of preventing the depression and preventing the relapse of depression. So try to look for a primary care physician who has interest into lifestyle medicine. Let me tell you, having a healthy lifestyle is a solution to many chronic disease, including depression, including heart disease, including cancer, including diabetes, including obesity. So having a primary care physician who is either board certified into lifestyle medicine or who has interest into lifestyle medicine is very important. Same thing with having a good psychologist. Regular counseling is very important if you suffer from depression, particularly if you are single and if you are lonely. Then having this regular weekly counseling appointment will help you to sort it out, what's going on in your life, will help you to reflect together with a psychologist and see what things you can do to prevent the relapse of depression. So having a good psychologist is very important. Many psychologists employ cognitive behavior therapy, and cognitive behavior therapy actually has shown to be as equal to taking antidepressant medication. So do not be shy of getting a psychology counseling. I've taken it myself for my depression, and it definitely helps on the long run, and it's worth spending the money, it's worth spending the time with a good psychologist. Obviously, find the psychologist who matches your mindset, who matches your values, who matches your lifestyle. And again, psychologists with a lifestyle medicine interest would be the one I would go to. And that's where I think you should try to find a psychologist who has an interest into lifestyle medicine. Um, there are actually a lot of psychologists available online now, and they cost anywhere from $30 to $70 an hour. And I think it's worth having a good psychologist who can do counseling online from your own house at your own time. Many of them have evening hours, many of them have weekend hours. So definitely have a good psychologist if you suffer from depression. Obviously, the best counseling is from your spouse, from your family members, from your friends. So definitely do not replace support from your spouse, your family, or your friends with the help of psychologists. Have those support and then add psychology counseling. Psychologists are obviously trained medically and they know how to sort out different life issues. Obviously, your spouse, your family, your friends may not be formally trained, but that support is necessary as well, the support of a psychologist. Um, uh, I also highly recommend that while you are suffering from depression or while you are in between the bouts of depression, start reading books on self help. There are probably millions of books on self help, and start reading book on stress management. Start reading books on sleep. Start reading books on healthy eating. Start reading books on being happy. There are a lot of YouTube videos available. You can listen while you are commuting. You can listen in the evening after you come back from work. You can watch it on your TV. So a lot of YouTube learning also is possible. I actually every day I spend few minutes reading something about how I can prevent my depression, prevent my relapse, how I can how I can uh, how I can actually increase my knowledge in terms of preventing depression. My last depression was 11 years ago, and since then I've taken care of myself. Last 5 years have been the blessing. I exercise at least 2 hours every day. I walk about 15 to 20,000 steps. I sleep 7 to 8 hours. I do some form of meditation. I observe my breath. I try to get some sunlight. I keep my vitamin D level 70, which we have covered in previous segments on depression. I eat whole food, plant based. I maintain ideal body weight. My BMI is 24. So I really, really feel like doing this comprehensive way of preventing depression and preventing relapse is the key thing. You cannot just say that medications or the pills will take care of it. You have to do other things to prevent the depression, prevent the relapse of depression. Medications have failure rate of almost 50%. A lot of people who are on medications, depression comes back. They need stronger medicine. They need multiple medications. They need a newer and newer medications. Medications obviously are expensive. They have their own side effect. Long term, they may or may not work. So doing everything else other than taking medication, including what I'm showing you over the last two segments and in today's segment, is very important. Obviously, medication have a role to play. They do help. They are proven. They are studied into clinical trials. So I'm not against medicine, but medicine alone is not enough. You have to have a healthy lifestyle, which I've been showing you in segment one and segment two. And today I'm showing you in segment three. There was a question about how about sugar in fruits and coconut sugar and sugar cane. Fruits are 100% allowed. Actually, I highly recommend to have 5 to 7 servings of fruits every day. Fruits have fiber, fruits have water. So that sugar, fructose and glucose, when it comes from the fruits, is very slowly absorbing. It does not spike your sugar, does not spike your insulin. It has a lot of phytonutrients. It has a lot of beneficial things. So I'm definitely all up for the fruits. At least 5 servings of fruits every day. People who eat fruit regularly have a less chance of depression and less chance of many chronic disease. Obviously, having green vegetables and intact grains and beans and legumes are also very important, but fruits are 100% allowed in my program. Next question was, how about coconut sugar? I actually don't recommend coconut sugar, and I also don't recommend sugar cane. I used to eat the whole sugar cane in India. We used to go to places and we would buy sugar cane and eat with our own teeth, and that was fine because we would have like a one sugar cane stick, and we will have probably very small amount of sugar, but we would just chew it ourselves, and that was more like an activity, more like having fun. But sugar, total sugar, when we ate from sugarcane sticks itself was very low. When you process sugarcane, when you process beet, that's where we get most of our sugars from now, and coconut sugar, that gives you a lot of high load of sugar. Sugar spikes in the blood, insulin level goes up, and that actually has shown to cause depression and relapse of depression. So avoid sugar from coconut sugar and sugar cane. Uh, Next thing is having a positive emotions. Uh, there's a book called Positivity. The book is very important, worth reading, and that book goes through what are the types of emotions. We all go through positive emotions and negative emotions. Positive emotions include love, pride, happiness, gratitude, euphoria, admiration, and joy, and many of the positive emotions. And negative emotions include anger, jealousy, envy, bitterness, fear, shame, frustration, hatred, boredom, disgust, resentment, grief, guilt, and many other negative emotions. So the key thing to remember, and let me tell you something which I want you to remember. Key thing to remember is that we need more positive emotion to overcome each negative emotion. And the recommended ratio is at least 3 to 1. So for each negative emotion you have any time of the day, to overcome that, you need to wash that out with the 3 positive emotions. So it's the best to prevent negative emotion so you don't have to have that many positive emotions. I want you to fill your day with as many positive emotions you can. Matter of fact, make a list of all the positive emotions you can find on Google, on YouTube. Keep that list in front of you on your phone, in a notebook, and try to make those positive emotions as much as possible. Having a simple gratitude, thanking more people at work or at home or on a phone call to your friends, well, admiring nature, having a joy of spending time with a spouse, any kind of positive emotions, reading a fun book, watching a fun video, any kind of positive emotions you can create would be ideal. And then preventing any kind of negative emotions. So make a list of all the negative emotions from Google or from a book or from YouTube, and try to prevent those negative emotions as much as possible. Again, like I explained you, the ratio of positive to negative emotion should be 3 to 1. So every time you have a negative emotion, and let me repeat the negative emotions because I want you to have as little negative emotions as possible. Let me repeat the negative emotions, and that include anger, jealousy, envy, bitterness, fear, shame, frustration, hatred, boredom, disgust, resentment, grief, guilt, and I'm sure there are many other negative emotions. So try to prevent negative emotions as much as possible and try to have more positive emotions as much as possible. So I'll stop the segment 3 on depression right now. Please watch it on YouTube once it's available. Please subscribe to our channel. Please watch segment 1 and segment 2 on depression. Please also watch videos on weight loss if you need to. Watch videos on high blood pressure if you suffer from high blood pressure. Share our videos. Share this video on your page. Like our page. Invite your friends to like our page. I do this thing Facebook Live as a my service back to my community, my friends, my family, and to the world. I enjoy it. It's my hobby. I read every day. I watch videos every day. I take notes every day. I prepare my life. I have a lot of commitment. I make a lot of efforts to make these live videos, and then we have a person who puts it on YouTube within few minutes. So that way, it's available on YouTube. We are getting more and more views. So please enjoy them. Please watch them again and again. Please follow what I'm trying to teach myself and teach all of you. As a cardiologist, as a lifestyle physician, I come with 40 years of experience. I come with a lot of reading, come with a lot of knowledge. I'm board certified both in cardiology and in lifestyle medicine, and I see 25, 30 patients every day. So I have an ongoing experience. I have ongoing medical education, and I take this Facebook Live and going on a YouTube very seriously. I'm mostly talking about science and evidence based. Sometimes I may have certain things which are being investigated, being studied into trials, but mostly 95% of the time I only talk about what is proven, what is science based, what is evidence based, and what is practical, what is simple, what is cost effective, and what is something I try to do it myself. So I hope you are enjoying our live. Share it on your page, please, and have your family and friends benefit from it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch all different videos on YouTube channel. There are 250 videos on my YouTube channel, so please watch them as you have time. Thank you. Have a great afternoon and see you in a few hours. Next session is going to be on how to live 110 years old. How to live 110 years old. That's my most favorite topic. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you.